Hey guys, and it is Vlogtober, so happy Vlogtober. If you didn't watch my last video, I will be vlogging, or I will be uploading a video every single day this month. So Tuesdays are going to be my normal sit-down videos, but all the other videos will be vlogs. But the Tuesday videos will still count towards Vlogtober. And I totally forgot to take my purse off, but I just got back from Barnes & Noble. As you saw, I went to Best Buy as well because I was buying a big gift for somebody, but I'm not going to go into that today. We're going to more so go into that tomorrow, but I did want to show y'all everything I got. I only got one of the books that I ended up going there for because I do get extremely overwhelmed in that store, especially on Saturdays. I go the first of every month, and just on Saturdays it's always extremely hectic, and then we are just getting out of a hurricane, and usually after hurricanes people are all just wanting to get out because they've been inside their house for so long. So the mall is usually a good place to go. So I watched two movies last week, or it was technically this week, and I wanted to buy the books that they were based on. One of them was The Long Prison Journey of Leslie Van Houten, Life Beyond the Cult by Carleen Faith. Now, I did not know this would be in the crime section. It wasn't there, so I was like, maybe it's in the biographies because it is about somebody's life. It was not there, so I could not find this book at all. The movie Charlie Says is based on that. So then I watched Blonde, and this is by Joyce Carol Oates, translated. See, I don't know, like on Goodreads it's in French, so I don't know why. So I don't know if it's actually translated or not, so I'm not going to say that. I got that because I did watch Blonde. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either, but I can definitely see people's problems with it. But I do think on page it will be better, because what for me with the movie, what was wrong other than the trauma porn basically, was that it was kind of boring, and then I felt like the plot was just kind of jumpy or choppy. And I heard on page that it is a lot better. And again, that it is fiction. It is, I see a lot of people having a big uproar about this movie. I think it's just because Marilyn Monroe was so recent, because I'm like, if we look back at history, y'all are fine with things about Anne Boleyn, you're fine with The Crown and all of this. But if it's about Marilyn Monroe, you kind of have a tissy about it. So it's just kind of interesting to see why society thinks some are fine to make fictionalized historical fiction period drama films about, and then some they're not okay with. I would like to hear your opinions and whatnot. So then I can never find graphic novels in that store. It is just too much, and those aisles are always packed, and I don't want to be in people's way. But I wanted Leica, I guess is how you say it, which is by Nick Abzis, and the colorist is Hilary Sycamore. This is about the first dog to go into space. The Soviets sent it, but could not find. And then my historical fiction pick of the month was The Brighter the Light by Mary Ellen Taylor. I really want to, or I don't want to say really want, but I do want to read this, and then I want my grandma, I think she might like it because it takes place in Nag's Head, and she used to have a house there. She might like that, but they did not have it. So I only got Blonde, and then the others I got books that are kind of similar to them, or did play a role in that. But I didn't get any graphic novels, so but I did get books on sale as well. No, I didn't buy like anything there last month. I think I got like 2 books, so I did go kind of crazy this month. But I did get Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitt's introduction by Holly Brabach. So she dated Jim Morrison, but the men aren't the important part. But this part, these authors that I'm going to show you are ones that I'm very fascinated with at the moment, and just the time they were living in, places they were living in, things they were doing are all things that I find super interesting. And personally, I like to read fiction things that take place there. I'll just read y'all the first line here. So, journalist, party girl, bookworm, artist, muse. By the time she had hit 30, Eve Babbitt had played all of these roles. I've played a few of those. Then we have this one. So this is kind of going with the Charles Manson, Charlie Says. This is Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s by Tom O'Neill with Dan Pippenbring. This is what I'm hesitant about. I told my dad in the store, if it says CIA in it, I am hesitant. I'm like, is any of this true in here? We had that. Then in the movie Charlie Says, it starts with a quote from this book by Joan Didion, The White Album. I keep wanting to say The White Room, which I think is a song by Eric Clapton, who I don't like Eric Clapton as a person, don't come for me. But The White Room, or The White Album, is named after the Beatles album. and this is first published in 1979. The White Album records instability, the upheavals and aftermaths of the 1960s. Then I will show Blonde. So again, this is the 20th anniversary edition. As I said, I watched the movie the day it came out, so what was that, 2 days ago? And in one of the most ambitious works, Joyce Carol Oates reimagines the inner poetic and spiritual life of Norma Jean Baker, the child, the woman, the fated celebrity in Norma Jean's own voice. This most intimate portrait reveals a fragile, idiosyncratically gifted young woman who makes and remakes her identity, ever managing to survive against crushing odds to become the definition of stardom. The two books that I got on sale, so I want to get historical fiction books, as that is one of my themes this month. I didn't get any horror books. I did not see any that I wanted. I do want to read horror this month, and I will be doing that with my mood reading. But we got Antoinette's Sister by Diana Giovinazzo, and this was for 50% off. And obviously, as Marie Antoinette took her last breath as Queen of France in Paris, another formidable monarch, Antoinette's dearly beloved sister Charlotte, was hundreds of miles away in Naples, fighting desperately to secure her release from the revolutionaries who would take her life. Little does Charlotte know, however, that her sister's execution would bring the course of history and bring about the end of her own empire. And lastly, because the rest in here is what my dad got. I got this one for $5 off, and this is a bit of kind of a local history for me, but The Lost Book of Eleanor Dare by Kimberly Brock. So the fate of the world is often driven by the curiosity of a girl. And we have two timelines here. The lost colony of Roanoke remains a mystery, but the women who descended from Eleanor Dare have long known that the truth lies in what she left behind, a message carved into a large stone. Now, a lot of these stones, I think, were found out to be hoaxes, but some of them might be real. You never know. Those are everything that I got. Those are all the books that I got at Barnes & Noble. I need to get the receipt so I can put it all in my reading journal, but I will catch up with y'all later. We're about to get into reading now. I do have my TBR for October, but since it is the weekend, I don't read the books on my TBR on weekends, and there's only 2 books on this month. Realistically, we would only need 1 because I'm only 1 book away from my reading goal, but I just didn't feel like just having 1. I was like, that's too easy. But I am doing a TBR video in 2 weeks because I do need to do my stats video for the quarter because the 3rd quarter of the year ended. I'll be reading my ebook right now, which is this one. I haven't read in a few days. I really need to play catch up because I do read this every single day in October until I finish. I think I'm currently at 5 or 10%, but page 34 in here. Reading update time. I read 34 pages in here. It was 5%, so therefore getting me to 10%. I do think this would maybe be better for November because this is like a Christmas kind of horror. The place that they go to is Christmas Land, and there's a lot of references to Christmas. Not on this cover, but on some covers they have like gingerbread men and all on the cover. And so I feel like November would be a good time because you're in between Halloween, so Halloween for horror, Christmas for the Christmas themes in the book. Now, I do know a lot of people do read horror in Christmas time, like, because there are some spooky things with Christmas. All of my spooky experiences personally have been in December, but there is like Krampus and other things, like, I mean, the Christmas Carol, our Christmas Ghost. So that's all for today, and I got to page 71, and then we will be picking up Black Cake later. I'm enjoying this a lot. It's a 4-star at the moment, and I will be starting on page 221. I think I'm at like 55-56% of the way through, and hopefully we'll finish it sometime this week. I need to resort that. But yes, there's my little update. It is time for the end of the night. So it's 65. What's it, 65? Yeah, 65 pages and Black Cake. I'll give my thoughts in a minute, but plus 34. Ooh. That was 37 earlier. 65 plus 37. Okay, 102. Totally did the math wrong earlier because I had it on my calculator that it was 37, but I wrote I started on page 34 and thought I read 34 pages. So my bad there, typo there. So I read 102 pages today, and that's always a good thing because I did not read over 100 pages yesterday, and as always my goal is to get over 100 pages read in each day. That's just my personal little goal for myself. And yes, I am. When I started this, I was like, this is all over the place. It was hard to follow, but now I'm like, this is a great book. It's not a new favorite, so it is a 4-star. If you're wondering how I rank things, 1 is DNF or absolutely hated. 2 is I don't get it. I feel nothing towards this book. 3, I liked it. It was fine. Nothing wrong with it, but I didn't love it. 4, loved. 5 is a new favorite. And that is how I do my rankings for books. So yeah, this is a 4. I am loving it. I am just seeing how all these people are connected in all these different ways. That's something I love. How I love reading it. I love writing it. This is one of my favorite tropes, to see how families and just are connected through relationships, through time, all of that kind of thing. But if you guys watch the whole vlog, leave a cake emoji again in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. And I am doing Vlogtober, so you guys will begin videos every single day in October. So really be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. But bye!